going. Pig for life here, and looks like we got Toy Dojo in the house. Who else we got here? Hey Jay, how's it going? TM Reviews, G Tony, nice to see you all, and a few others. So here we are with the Transformers Kingdom, War for Cybertron Kingdom Autobot Ark, Titan class figure, the newest one that we've gotten from Hasbro. So, and it's probably one of the first arcs that we've gotten, at least kind of in the G1 style. Hey, Dr. Diecast. So here he is with the box, very large box, nice artwork. You see him kind of holding the Megatron from the War for Cybertron line. He definitely cannot do that. We do get a photo of, I guess, the Nemesis, which will be cool if we do get that as well as some other figures that we've seen in the line. Not much going on here, just continuation. In addition to the Ark, we do get Autobot Mainframe, which is kind of like the Teletran, which transforms into that. There's also a core piece and some other pieces here. So we'll get into all that. And he transforms in only 26 steps. So, pretty simple. That's it for the box. There's nothing on the bottom. Bringing out the actual collection of stuff that we get from this guy. Here, is this all in frame? Alright, so we get a bunch of stuff down here. It's pretty well packaged. I wish they had actually put this in some kind of, these blast effects in some kind of baggie. I almost lost one. Here are the instructions, as well as a small little red Optimus, which I haven't opened yet because I was afraid I was going to lose him. I lose a lot of stuff, so I didn't want to lose that thing. Alright, so he's actually well packaged in alt mode. And don't be like TM Reviews and forget these pieces that are hanging out in the cardboard packing. They're just two additional pieces that you attach to the side of the Ark and become kind of his knees in robot mode. There's nothing else on the bottom here. Oop. There's nothing else on the bottom, so we'll just get this box out of the way. All right. So, first things first, these two pieces, they're kind of a softer plastic. The way we deal with these is, even though they don't show in the instructions, it's pretty simple. You want to come and figure out which one goes where. Yeah, I'm calling out TM. He deserves it. So let's see here. This one is going to go on this side. You can see that this notch here is a larger one, which goes on top. So all you do is come in, press that in, notch that here, and there's a notch on the bottom as well, which you can't see right now. We'll notch that in. Same thing on the other side. Pretty simple. All right, so that should be good. The next thing you want to do to get him into full Ark mode is open this up. There's a panel here. This brings out like the deck, what do you call it? The command deck. What's going on? Doesn't want to tab in. There we go. And then just for some stability, he does have some landing pads here. Fold all three of these out. And there we go. We have the Ark in his alt mode. There is a good amount of playability here. The first thing we'll do is actually take a look at the blast effects. There are several blast effect ports, not as many as I would have expected based on some of the other releases. Like I think we have 1, 2, 3, maybe four on each side or so. But these are, I think, similar to what we got in the past. You can stack them in either way like this, so you can have a super blast, or like this individually. One thing that I did want to see if that worked is whether you can plug these into these cannons here, and you actually can. It does stretch them out a bit. It stretches out the hole a bit, so just be careful, because if you use it on here, it may make the tolerances too big for tightly fitting on here. So yeah, you don't want to stretch out those holes. The other thing that I was hoping that would work is maybe porting these here, and I think they do work. Mine just feels a little bit looser than I would like. Hey, Katos, how's it going? Hey, Ridiculous Badger. Yeah, so it does work here, which is good, but then I wish we would have had 4 sets. But I guess you can put two and two of each. All right. What else do we have going on? The what's it called? Yeah, TM says the same thing as me. They're a little bit loose. So the paintwork on the boosters or thrusters actually does look quite nice. It is a gradient, so it's not just one color blue. It's lighter in the middle and then darker on the outside, which is great. We do have like these tampos here, some gray paintwork all around, especially in the front, kind of like this battle damage, some yellow highlights and so forth. While we're at the rear, you can actually see that there is, here, let me scooch this down. That might be better this way. You can scooch down here, and there are some release tabs, spring-loaded releases that lower ramp here. One thing that I'll talk about a little bit later is that the two halves of this guy, or like a lot of the tabs, don't hold this guy together particularly well in alt mode. And as you can see, the landing skids tend to want to fold up pretty easily. Hey Memo, good to see you. Prince and Phalanx, good to see you again. G Tony, I think I might have already said hi to G Tony. I wish they had allowed you to do something with these turrets. You can't move them in any way, shape, or form. It would have been nice if we got that, but too bad. Looking up at the other, I guess this is maybe this is the command deck. I don't know what this is back here, but either way, this is kind of where you saw a lot of the scenes from the show taking place. It's hard to see in here, especially with the lighting, but there are command spaces here. It is the chest, or I guess the back plate of the mainframe, as well as kind of the chest core of the Autobot Ark in robot mode, and we'll show that off. Actually, I guess we should kind of show that off now. Looking at the bottom, I wanted to show you parts of the bottom as well. There are turrets on the bottom and some silver details. You do get a little bit of the visible hips and waist, but not too shabby. All right, so very quickly, I'll show you how to access the command deck. Just you want to. The instructions are very forceful, I guess, in the way that you want to move this. They make it seem like you have to pull this all the way around. You really just want to untab this section and pull that out a little bit on both sides. And then come to the front here, and you want to pull this up. Oh, sorry. You want to pull this up as well. Another thing I want to, well, I'll talk about it once we go into real transformation. But once you have this all opened, now you can kind of see the command deck here. And now we'll go ahead and free the Mini Optimus, which, like I said, I haven't even opened for fear of losing him. But TM did a really good review on this little mini guy. He's super small, super hard to see. It's a little red Optimus Prime, which has a lot more detail than I was expecting for something this small. He has a little rectangular base, and he can sit in one of 6 different command 6 locations here, here, here. You get the idea. But it is very small. Be very, very careful with it. I could easily see breaking it. And because it takes a little bit of force to get him in, just be a little bit careful. Hey, Mike Rogers, how's it going? Hey, Slow DK. So yeah, and then you can close this all up. Yeah, we'll just do that for now. All right, so the one thing I wanted to note here on the transformation is you'll see that my robot head has paint scrapes here. It's because on the inside here, it does potentially rub. And that could have been from shipping, and I know at least part of it is my fault. I would highly recommend making sure your head is turned 90 degrees, like this. You can't be 180. There's too much interference. Just do 90 degrees and close it up. And if you want to keep your head straight or on your first opening, make sure to open upwards and back and not just push down like this, because that's when you smash into the face. That's probably what I did. But yeah, so lift it up towards the sky and then open it to try to avoid any paint scrapage. And then again, turn it to either side to protect it for future transformations. All right, so yeah, so to get this guy transformed, we're going to go back and do some of the same steps we just did, but I want to get a better angle. All right, so first thing we'll do is open this panel back up, untab this, close that back up. Oh, I guess I should do some comparisons. I didn't do streak the other night, which was kind of blasphemous. I always use my streak as a comparison. He's 1, 2, about 3 streaks long, and several more than probably I can count, like 8 streaks wide. I don't have any Legends figures in alt mode, I don't think. Let me see, do I have anything in alt mode? Oh yeah, I do. I have 1 Legends in alt mode, this Warpath. You can see just how tiny he is. Let's see if he can go up the ramp. Oh, I should have gotten the Optimus to see if he can go up the ramp. Oh, the Legends can almost fit in here. He can go up the ramp, but he can't actually get in. So, that's the most you're going to get from me since I don't collect a lot of small figures. Alright. Let's see here. So, let's go into transformation. We did close that up. We'll go ahead and fold up the ramp. And we're going to do what we did before. So, let's close up these pieces. Like so. Would it be best to move this up a bit more? Yeah, probably. All right. So, remembering to open these pieces and pull up and around on this. There are a couple tabs that will hold this back piece. This one here, as well as 2 small slots here. Just fold this up on itself and make sure that these tab in. The robot mode actually holds together pretty well. The alt mode doesn't hold together all that well. All right, so once we have that and we've released these 2 here on the back side, we're going to pull up on this, and then we can see the core. I'm going to leave him in here for now just because it's kind of cool to see it as a core of the robot mode. We're going to lift up the arms and then pull back. There is a big hefty set of tabs right here that will go into this orange piece. So we're going to do that. The first time might be a little tight. And you can hear just how strong the ratchets are, which are a great sign. Then we're going to pull down on the arm like this. It kind of accordions down. And you can see the hand here. I want to highlight this. When you pull the hand out, it has kind of an auto transformation joint that ratchets out and acts as a gap filler, which I appreciate. And you just get the hands out and around like that. Same thing on this side here. Pull this forward, tab it into the back, rotate the arm, get the arm straightened out. Am I on camera? Yeah, sorry, I just want to make sure I'm on camera for a lot of this. And then pull the hand down to auto transform. Get it rotated around. Oh, it looks like it's untabbed. So up here, these flaps will close up, go in like this. This piece, these orange pieces on the side, will fold up like this and go underneath. And these will be very important pieces. There's a little set of grooves here that correspond to these gray pieces. Those are the main things that will hold the chest in place. I guess we can take care of Optimus. We'll get rid of him here. But yeah, like I said, when you open up the chest, you can see this kind of core, almost like the, what was that thing called? Shoot, the orb that we got with the reissue of MP10. Somebody's gonna remember. The Vector Sigma. Yeah, Vector Sigma. Sorry about that. So yeah, we're gonna close this up. Make sure that these grooves are in place on the gray parts. And then we just need to tab it in. There we go. Tabs very securely on both sides. And then these gray ridges on the shoulders will come up and secure it at the top as well. So very well secured. So yeah, the chest reminds me of, I think they were going for the key to vector sigma. On the bottom here, the first thing you actually want to do is kind of want to rotate the entire waist 180 degrees, and then you want to kind of split while pulling down on the legs themselves. They have a little clasp here. So straighten out the legs and then rotate them 90 degrees to the front. I don't know why this piece is splitting. And then we can get the toe out on each side. So let's do that again. Sorry for the terrible angles. As you can imagine, this guy is stretching the limits of my review area. All right, so here he is in robot mode. And he's a big one, for sure. Let me get the tape measure out. Because I don't have any other Titans class figures in my collection, I have nothing really good to compare him to. Let's see. TM did a really good set of comparisons with some other third-party figures, like his Toy World Constructor and I forget who else. Oh, Studio Cell. He's about 20 inches to the top of the head, a little bit more than that to the top of the shoulder, or whatever you want to call these, the deltoids. But overall, I'm actually pretty impressed with how he turned out. So my pieces here look like they're not. Oh, this piece isn't all the way in. That's why. Sorry about that. There we go. All right, but yeah, I'm actually impressed how he turned out, in the sense that he feels way more solid than some of the other Titans that we got in the past. While he does feel big and hefty like some of the other ones, he doesn't feel like as hollow or as cheap as I would say, especially some of the older Titans like Fortress Maximus and stuff like that. Those felt really hollow and relatively light, just that feeling. I don't feel that way with this guy, and he feels really solid. Unlike some of the other ones, we don't have any issues with the tolerances in the ratchets. His ratchets are really great. T-Man did tell me that the face is based off of the last Autobot, which is a part of the lore that I don't know. So I'm glad that he brought it up. I'm stealing some knowledge from him. But yeah, you can see the paint scrape here. He does have some light piping, which works pretty well depending on how your light source is. Mine works pretty well here. All right. What else do we have going on? We can actually go straight into some articulation. So his head, well actually his whole neck, is on a rotational joint. No up or down at all, which is a bummer. You can't open his mouth at all. It would have been nice if maybe a third-party company, it looks like there's plenty of room to put some LEDs in his head. That'd be a nice upgrade. His shoulders are ratcheted. Can go all the way around and go out here. His biceps, his teeny thin biceps, are also ratcheted. His elbow is ratcheted. Single joint, but you can get really far in like that. His wrist is ratcheted. He does have a little bit of this up and down with the transformation. He has one solid thumb, which comes out at a very odd angle, just straight out like this. It's kind of weird. And then he has 4 fingers that are molded together, which is a bummer. So I'm sure they're going to do upgraded hands. Third-party companies tend to do the upgraded hands for the Titans, so you'll have that option. He does have the waist swivel, which is ratcheted. It can go all the way around. We showed that off as part of transformation. No ab crunch, so we should just throw this guy in the garbage. No ab crunch. He does have thigh swivel, which is ratcheted. His hips and legs can go very high, and again, very solid. I'm shaking him pretty profusely. I'm getting tired. You can tell that I don't work out a lot. I'm losing my breath just from reviewing a toy. And even his outward leg movement is ratcheted, and again, very, very solid. So I'm very happy about the improvements they made to the ratchets. Knees can go super deep in. Single jointed ratcheted, but it can go like 140 degrees, maybe 135 degrees. We saw that for transformation as well. It's kind of cool that he has these big thrusters out front on his shins. All right, what else do we got? Oh, he does have ankle tilt, but and apparently an ankle support here. So thanks, Princeton. Thanks, I appreciate the $2. I'll remember to shout out to you again a little bit later once I'm done with some of this explanation. But he does have some ankle support this way too, apparently, if you want that. But he does have ankle tilt. It's not really that meaningful in the sense that it's friction, and the friction for this large of a figure isn't really going to help, but it does help in terms of just looks. So when you're down like this, instead of having the foot look kind of goofy like that, you can have it angled down and sit flat. So it does. It's a small detail, but I do appreciate that they did that. And then we got the toe here, really transformation. I don't think I missed any of the other articulation, but yeah, robot mode is very solid. I don't know that a lot of people are going to actually use this guy in robot mode, but I think the call out to the last Autobot, if you're into that, is cool. I like the chest detail that we have in here with Mainframe and the Vector Sigma kind of call out. And like I said, the feeling of this guy is definitely very, very solid. One of the better Titan class figures we've gotten in terms of overall feel, stability, ratchets, posability. So I like that. Again, I would have liked a little bit more ports on this guy for the blast effects. I don't really see much of anything new that we didn't already get in alt mode. So it would have been nice if we got some of that. All right. Let's do just a quick 360. In addition to the auto transforming that we got with the arms, this very similar concept was done with the legs as well. You can see it goes in and fills out a little bit. So again, I've been very impressed with the mainline stuff, even though I don't collect most of it. Oh, that might not have even been on camera. So here again. I've been very impressed with the mainline stuff, even though I don't collect a lot of it. Just watching, TM and T-Man's reviews, I'm very impressed with what they have been doing in terms of overall engineering and quality of the figure, even though we have been seeing the ever-shrinking mainline sizes. All right, so let me stop talking real quick and bring in some figures for comparison. Toy Dojo wanted me to bring in some Legends figures, so here is Magic Squares, Optimus Prime. Here is New Age's Galvatron. Where is the Optimus Prime that we got with this figure itself? I think this is the front. It's hard to tell. So obviously not in scale with really anything that we would realistically have in our collections probably. Even the world's smallest Transformers probably won't be enough for this. But again, if we're really talking about scale, if this is the accurate scale, then we're really never going to get anything like that, most likely. That can at least transform or even move. And just for fun, since I have him, well, I have Spike in here. All right. Make pose worth the money. Okay, sure. What was it? Princeton, what did you want? Make a request. Make a request. So from now on, if you guys donate anything, I'll try to adhere to a reasonable request that you include. So hopefully you're not going to ask me to try to do a comparison with some figures that are way in the back. I do take singing requests. If you guys have been watching my shorts, I mean, I do have those singing skills. Mike Rogers does appreciate my singing skills. So, but yeah, this guy looks really awesome. Oh, Iron Man poses are forbidden from requests. That's the only caveat to that donation request. And this guy's not even taking advantage of his $2 donation. But I appreciate it, Princeton. I really do. All right, so I probably missed a bunch of questions. So if you guys have them now, go ahead and go ahead and ask them. I'm going to go ahead while you guys do that. I'm going to pay attention. And does he have ports to stick that little Optimus? Yeah, Jason, we talked about it before. That's actually a good transition since we need to talk about Autobot Mainframe. We'll take him out of the chest. Again, he can store there if you'd like. And let's get into him. But this is where most of his ports are going to reside. I don't think there are any on the Ark itself, as far as what I saw. Oh, I didn't check the ramp. Maybe the ramp does. No, nothing on the ramp. The ramp also has a working piston, by the way. Again, a nice little detail. So I don't think there's anywhere you can actually place this guy except on the command deck here. So again, if you're coming in late, there are 6 positions for him, and hopefully some other figures. All right, so as far as Autobot Mainframe goes, keep the questions coming. I'll keep going because I think this should be pretty easy. So as far as Autobot Mainframe goes, this is basically him just folded up for now. And you'll see he transforms. He's a triple changer. He transforms into a robot as well as kind of Teletran, which is cool. All right, so I'm going to go a little bit different than the instructions have. They have him going to robot and then to the Mainframe or Teletran mode. Just because there's a lot of back and forth going that way, it doesn't make a lot of sense to do it that way. I'm going to go straight into the Teletran mode or Mainframe mode, and then we'll go ahead and get into robot mode after that. It's just less back and forth. So the first thing we want to do is just separate the legs, bring the legs down, open up the panels on his legs like this. Oh yeah, I agree. I think Mainframe is also really cool. I think he's TM saying he's one of the best parts of the figure. So I would agree. Go ahead and then tab these 2 legs back together. All right, up here, we're gonna lift this up. His backpack is on a double hinge. Oh no, we leave this one up for this mode. Sorry. See, this is one of the reasons why I didn't want to do the back and forth. So yeah, we'll get his arms, this panel open, and then rotate the arm all the way around until you tab in up here. Same thing on this side. Open it up, rotate it all the way around, tab it in up here. This Vector Sigma thing can remove, I guess if you want your Mini Optimus to have a Vector Sigma. Open this up. Oops, we'll talk about that in a bit. There's another tab underneath here, which will secure that. There are 2 golden discs. So if you're a Beast Wars fan, and I don't know why you wouldn't be unless you're TM, you have 2 golden discs here, which are different because there were 2 golden discs, and these do look accurate to the show. So if you have your Kingdom leader Megatron, he'll be very happy. Yes, he will. So open this up, tab this in on this side. Now we'll come into the legs and you bend them at the knees. And they tab in at kind of an angle. There, he's not totally 90 degrees here, but you do that. And then you bring up these back parts to fill in the top control panel, like so. Same thing on this side. One thing I wish they would have done here to make it a little... Oh, man. So this happens on mine. I don't know if it'll happen on yours. Mine tends to pop off quite a bit at this hinge. It's nothing, not a huge deal. It pops right back on, but the tolerances are not that great. The one thing I wish they had done is fill in this gap somehow. I think they could have just made the foot split in half and open up and fill in this gap. I think that would have been... that might be a good idea for an upgrade, just so you don't have a gap here. And then with that, you're really in the Mainframe mode or Teletran mode. You do have this little piece here that pegs in on the back. And if you guys remember from the first episode, this thing is the one that saves the day by first repairing the Decepticons for some god unknown reason why they would do that. But sure, you know, I guess a Cybertronian is a Cybertronian. So, I don't know what TM is saying from the man who likes to break his toys on camera. What? What? I know he's not talking about me. I don't break my toys on camera. Well, sometimes I do. So, yeah, that's a little option here. It'd be nice if he could port in somewhere else. I was hoping he can port in somewhere else. He does have a couple ports here, so if you want to have a battle damaged scene for Teletran, I think that would be pretty cool. But yeah, this mode actually looks pretty good. Aside from the gap, again, if this could just open up, even if they just had two parts of the feet that would open up, I think that'd be really nice. It does have a lot of nice surface detail, nice little stickers here that are textured. Are these stickers? They might be. No, they're stickers. Yeah, but they're a lot of cool detail. You have some key to vector sigma again that we talked about. This little thing, that's the vector sigma. You can see that here. The matrix and some other details. So pretty nice. All right, so as far as I know, you can't port this on anywhere else. But I think if I'm not mistaken, I think TM said you can port this on to his robot mode. So we'll take a look at that once we open this up. So yeah, let's go ahead and transform him into robot mode. We'll go ahead and take these leg panel fillers and fill in the legs. Straighten out this section here. Rotate the waist 180 degrees. Split the legs. Before you go ahead and close up the leg panels, you do need to rotate the ankles. If you're doing it in the way of the instructions, you just have to open up these leg panels specifically just to get those feet angled around. But if you're following my way, obviously you don't have to do that. Let's put him, you can put him back in here and he can transform with it, but we're going to leave it out. We're going to go ahead and fold up these back panels like so. You can store this on a friction system, but it doesn't hold together all that well. Luckily, this panel will come in behind it and keep it closed. Untab here, rock this down on the double hinge, and when you're bringing this forward, bring the head out and tab these in here on both sides. Now we can go ahead and open up the panels, get the fist out, close this up. Oh, sorry, I just missed another donation. Who was that? Jason Lee, thanks for my broken toys. What toy did I break recently? I definitely have broken a couple, but definitely not on the average. So I don't know what he's talking about. Definitely break less than normal. All right, but I appreciate the broken toys. What toy will I buy with this $5 and the $2 from Phalanx? $7 will get me like a core class, right? Or it's not even called a core class anymore. But here is Mainframe in robot mode. It looks quite nice with the exception of this huge back panel. Lark is already thinking about 3D printing a bunch of stuff. Nice. Let me know. All right, so for him, he has nice light piping as well. A little piece here, but it works quite well. You can see. His head is also like his Big Daddy's in the sense that it only rotates around, no up or down. They couldn't even be bothered to put a ball joint in there, but that's okay. He's all frictioned out and to the side. He's got no wrist articulation, unfortunately. I guess you can talk about this, but that's really for transformation. He has a bicep swivel. He has a waist swivel, which does get blocked by his backpack, but he does get a little bit. Forward, to the side, thigh swivel, nice deep knee bend, 90 degrees. Then his feet also have an ankle tilt, like so, and then can go rotate left and right. No forward and back on that. So I don't think I missed any articulation on this point. I could have sworn that TM said that you can have him resting on the arm, like in... I could have sworn, I watched some of his review and I could have sworn that he said that you can get him resting on his arm somehow. But I can't figure it out. Maybe I'm missing something. Go watch his review. He probably pointed it out. I didn't see it in the instructions, so... I thought he said he could mount him something like Laserbeak, but I don't even know what other ports you could actually do. In any case, that's it for Mainframe. He's a cool little bot. I appreciate him. Here's some comparisons with Siege Optimus Prime. That's the only Siege figure that I currently have available. Oh, no, that's a lie. I do have Megatron as well. I always seem to have these two guys on my desk just because they're Optimus and Megatron. All right. I think you just use gravity. Is that it? You just use gravity? Like this? Is that TM's secret technique to get this mounted? You use gravity? All right, that's cool. That's more ingenious than I would have done. But yeah, this also stores in the backpack. If you really want, you can do that. We can show it off just so you can see that it can transform with that. Again, just use the peg in the back. Like so. And it all stores up just fine. All hidden away. All right. So yeah, that's it. We're going to go ahead and get transformed back into the block. Usually I would go back into the other modes. But I think he's simple enough that you guys really don't need me to go through all that with this little guy. So let's just get him transformed back into his block mode. So get his hands up like this. Close these up. And then we'll see. I've got to see how it works. All right, so pull the backpack out. Rotate the head. Tuck it in. Bring this up. There's a couple tabs there. If I'm not mistaken, you want to have the arms like this. Because, yeah, they tab in up here. Like so. The waist, we had to rotate 180 degrees. Open up the leg panel just so you can get the feet rotated back. And then close that back up. Same thing here. Tab the two legs together, and then they're going to come up and tab into the arms with this long tab and then this peg. So, like so. And there we have him in block chess mode, something like that. Oh, man, Mike Rogers knows some Hawaiian? What? All right, lift up the chest, and you can just slot him in like so, and close that up. But we're going to transform him anyway, so let's go ahead and get him transformed back into his alt mode. So the first thing we'll do is actually deal with the legs. I think it's a little bit easier to deal with the legs first. Get the toes in. Let's go ahead and rotate the waist, just so we can deal with that first. 180 degrees. Get the thighs like this. And then we want to collapse in on itself like so. And again, there's a little tab here that will go into his bottom of the crotch. Same thing on this side. Hopefully I'm on camera. I'm standing up and leaning over my camera, so I can't even see if I'm on camera right now. All right. Go like this. Tab the two halves together. And remember to give it a little push up into his crotch area. All right. Now we'll deal with the rest. See you, Kato. Have a happy 4th. We'll untab the chest. Again, these two tabs here and these gray sections on either side of the shoulders. And then we'll deal with the hands. You want to rotate the hands this way. Get them up like so. Rotate the hand like this. And then push in so it auto transforms. You will see a couple of hands or fingers there. We're going to rotate 90 degrees back, untab, and then pull it down like so. There is one small tab back here. Well, I guess it's a pretty sizable tab, but small relative to the rest of the body. And that's the only thing that really holds all this together. I wish this tab here was an over and under tab that could lock in here. That would make way more sense. I don't know why they didn't do that, but they didn't. But who am I to question the great Hasbro? Once again, bring the arms up like so. Hands transforming in like this. Shoulder rotated that way. Untab, bring it down. And once again, tabbing in back here. And then this is kind of a very mild suggestion as opposed to an actual tab. Hey, Chico-King, how's it going? My good friend Chico-King is in the house. All right, coming up here, we're going to lift this up, flip these down. I'm going to rotate the head now just so I can show you guys. Bring this down. Oh, no, sorry. Before you bring this down, you want to make sure that you pull out these little triangular pieces at the top and unfold these. Now we can bring this all the way down. It should just go in. There we go. Come to the back. This hooks around and tabs in, like so. On the back, untab this, extend it forward, and it has a couple of ridges up here that will lock into place. All right, now we're going to get it transformed back into the flight stand mode, I guess. And then we'll finish off by bringing out this back piece again. Tapping that in. So there we go. Back in alt mode. Quick and easy and simple. No big deal here. The only comments I have about this guy in terms of negatives are, again, the tabbing system is not that great here. This should be an over and under. That itself, that one change would help this lock together way better. Some of these other quote-unquote tabs are not really tabs. Like, they're just slots here. There's no full coverage on all four sides. So it's more like a resting place. And this same thing back here, too. It's not really a tab because there's a slot, but it's not all four sides. So getting it actually secured in is very difficult, and it really depends on the tolerance of your own figure. But overall, I think it looks really great. Some of the other things that I would like to have seen again are if the turrets could do something like angle at least up or down or rotate. That would have added to some more functionality. That would have been cool. It would have been nice if we can get a little bit easier access to the command deck without having to open up like the entire chest area and so forth. Some more ports would have been nice for the blast effects. But overall, I'm very happy. I think this mode is the one that most people are going to keep them in. And honestly, I think most people don't care about the front so much as the back, so that they can recreate, you know, all the scenes where it's crashed into the mountain here. So in that respect, they did a really good job. I am happy with it. The robot mode is honestly probably my more favorite of the two modes in terms of, I guess, how it delivered a little bit more than I was expecting. Really solid, lots of ratchets, no looseness anywhere. Everything seems to work really well in that mode. A good amount of articulation as well. So I was surprised how much I like that mode, even though it's not, you know, canon in terms of the G1 style, G1 series. So I'm overall pretty happy with this. Ninja Bill Review says, now to build a mountain for this. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of crazy folks out there that are very talented and can do something like that. Me, I don't know what I'll do with this thing. Oh, TM wants some fillers here. I guess that makes sense. It would make sense to have some fillers. I didn't honestly notice it again, but now that you know call it out, yeah, there's obviously a big gap here on both sides, which is needed for transformation. But even a flap could have, you know, worked or something like that. But not a huge deal for me. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. So with that, I'll go ahead and answer any other questions that anybody might have. But otherwise, if that's it, then we'll go ahead and end this review. If you guys want to pick this guy up, Toy Dojo did get some early ones in, but I know they'll have more at some point. I think he talked about it before. I think Toy Dojo talked about it before, that they might be sold out now, but they usually get some cancellations and maybe some extras. So keep an eye out on that. if you guys don't know, there is a Dojo Disciples Facebook group page, and Toy Dojo often will announce extra availability or stock on things ahead of time, or make it available to that group. So if you're not part of the Toy Dojo's the Dojo Disciples group, I highly recommend clicking the link in the description and joining that. That's really good for you Fans Toys fans as well, because he often will have some extras that he makes available on that group before anywhere else. Uh, yeah, so Ninja Bill asks, normally the cameras distort the color a bit. This looks really like a pale yellow. Is it really that bland? I would say it's orangish yellow. You know, if you have your Crayola box, it's going to be an orange yellow, closer to orange than yellow, I would say. You can see the yellow details here, so you can see it is I guess more pale. I think TM said that he would have liked a darker orange, which I think I also would have appreciated, but maybe it wouldn't be as eye-catching as this kind of lighter, brighter one. So I can see why they went with a lighter color, but I do think a darker orange would have been way more accurate. But I don't mind the color at all. Larkin says, is it the same color as Kingdom Huffer? I do not have that figure, so I'm not sure. What's the box for? I don't know what box you're referring to. Ninja Bill says, I'm partially colorblind, so some colors I have to guess. I guess that's sorry. Yeah, you should be sorry for being colorblind. What are you doing? No, I'm just kidding, obviously. Yeah, no problem. No problem asking questions like that. Yeah, and you're right. Depending on the lighting, the way that it's being processed, the colors could be very different. I scrolled back and saw that Jason Lee said instead of building a mountain, just punch a hole in some drywall. Not a bad plan. Very low cost on the cheap. Larkin says, asking because I have filament that matches Huffer and might use it for the Ark. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have that. TM might be able to answer that for you. Oh, no, he says no, it's lighter than Huffer. Yeah, getting some LEDs on this would definitely be cool. It'd be cool to have one in the chest here. But obviously the chest area is also mainframe, so that might be difficult. The only other thing that I noticed is that, I don't know if this is on purpose, but some parts of the orange are slightly different colors. So this is ever so slightly lighter than this. It might be for some subtle color separation to make it look less boring, which I actually think is a good idea. But I did notice that on a couple pieces, even on mainframe itself. But overall, I'm very happy with this figure. It's one of the Titan class figures that I normally wouldn't think I would want, aside from, you know, the alt mode, which is obviously iconic. But again, it's very solid. I'm gonna be curious to see how they reuse this mold for some other figures, because, you know, Hasbro's got to get their money, right? So yeah, Larkin says, some folks see hollowness, I see opportunity for lights and sounds. All right, so this was a very quick last-minute live stream review of Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Autobot Ark and Autobot Mainframe. So if you guys enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. I always appreciate it. More than anything, more than like the whole analytics thing on YouTube, thumbs up really just keep me motivated, as do comments below. So if you're catching this on the rewind later on the live, later than on live, leave a comment to letting me know if you enjoyed it or not. If you guys hate my new live stream format, I apologize. I know some of you don't, but this is the way it's going to be from now on. I enjoy having these conversations back and forth with all these folks, trolling TM as well as T-Man, always doing that, and having Toy Dojo out in here as well is always great. So thanks to everyone, all of the regulars like Mike, TM, G-Tony, Ridiculous Badger, who else was in here? Larkin, Kato's, man, there's too many to mention. Some people that I don't recognize, Carl Tate, Ninja Bill, I don't think I've seen you before. Chigo King obviously is a regular, but Memo a regular as well. So I appreciate all of you coming in. If I missed you, I apologize. Big thanks again to those that donated. So I believe it was Phalanx, and the other one was Jason Lee, right? That donated. I wish it was easier for me to see who did the donations. Was it me see. I want to make sure I get it right because I don't want to thank the wrong people. Yeah, it's like impossible to see who donated. Yeah, it was Jason Lee. All right, just making sure. I wanted to make sure. So thanks a lot, Jason. Thanks a lot, Phalanx. I appreciate it very much. Arian says, I don't see any 5mm ports at all. I don't know that there are any 5mm ports on this guy. The only ones that I know of are the ones on Mainframe. Yeah, I don't think there are any. I could be wrong here, but just on cursory review, I don't think there are any on the Ark itself. It was just on Mainframe. He had a couple ports on the front. Although I guess these are 5mm ports, right? So technically, I guess these back here on the thrusters are. Yeah, see, this is very loose. So it really depends on your situation. You might have something. Oh, the only other thing that I noticed, and again, aside from the mistake that I made with the paint rub on the forehead, there are random paint rubs and issues that I've had right out of the box. Like, I don't even know where this would even come from. It doesn't rub against anything else in transformation or anything like that. So there's some stuff here. I noticed it in a couple of places. It's not a huge deal. You can probably clean it up with some alcohol. But just be mindful. Once again, if you're coming in late or you skipped it, just be very careful on first transformation of the head. You can get a lot of paint rub on the forehead. So I recommend lifting up in Arc mode. And from then on, when you transform this guy, rotate the head before you do so to avoid any kind of paint scrapage, especially on the forehead, which, again, the face sculpt is actually quite nice. Oh, yeah. So Alex B, as TM says, the core bot actually ends up being part of the inside here, which is the command deck. So it ends up being kind of the core of the robot. And that's where it stores. So yeah, even in robot mode, it looks like a kind of core, energy core. So it serves kind of as double duty. I like it both ways. Jason Lee says, it would have been somewhat stupid, but putting all those little turrets on 5mm ports would be a pretty good utility. Yeah, like I said, if they did a little bit more with the turrets, like they don't do anything. It looks like they have cutouts here where you could, like, you know, spring them in or spring them out. That would have been cool too if you could just have these spring loaded so they can hide and then push them and then have them come out. That would have been cool. No, you don't have to have a mainframe plugged in to complete the Ark. You do not. You'll have an empty area when you look through the windshield, but you don't need to have them in at all. All right, cool. So I think that's it for the questions, at least that I'm seeing right now. TM review, thanks for coming in and moderating as usual. Always great. He had his review up. He took it down, but he will have another one up. So if you want to see one in nice full HD with a lot less of the jabbering from the reviewer like me, check his out. I think he said he's going to refilm parts of it and upload it on Monday. So keep an eye out for TM reviews if you're not already subscribed. That's it for today, everyone. Hope you have a good one. Enjoy the 4th of July, the nice long weekend if you get it off. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. The next review I'll do is probably going to be the MPM Optimus, which I just also got from Toy Dojo in the same box as the Ark. So that should be coming. If I have time, I'll probably do it on the 4th itself. No, the 5th. Sorry, the 5th, on the day we have off. So thanks a lot, everyone. Hope you have